And Carolyn, thank you for coordinating us today. Just wanted to just mention that San Esteban, our Spanish congregation that meets at 2 o'clock, are joining us today, next week, and the week after. So there is a Spanish component to the service today. Hopefully you'll be able to enter in, maybe even learn a Spanish word here or there. Marilyn, if you want to take it away.
Sure. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And thanks, Pam, for keeping things going in the church. And I hope that Paulina is there. Is Paulina there in the church? Okay, we'll call on you in a minute, Paulina. Thank you. So welcome to people present in the church and to all of us online. Online, you may wish to have bread and wine on hand. In this hybrid service, the people on the Zoom screen complete the worship circle in the church. People in the church see all of us if we want our cameras on. And those on Zoom also like to see who's in church. Thanks to Len for coming to the microphone. Please come close to a camera if you want to wave to us sometime. Welcome to those who worship regularly with Holy Trinity and anyone who's visiting. We hope you'll return. We're glad to be together this morning. There's coffee and tea in the church, I think, and probably at home too. Help yourself at any time during the service. In the church, the washrooms are downstairs and an accessible washroom is in the corner by the door. The words and lyrics for our service will be on the screen, sometimes in Spanish. And the whole congregation reads the words that are in bold type on the screen. We strive to accommodate one another. In the church, if you want to stand to sing, please have a look behind you to see if anyone there needs to stay seated and try not to block their view of the screen. The service is recorded except for the prayers of the people, and the recording will be available later on the Holy Trinity website for a time. I don't know if we're ready with whether we have something on the screen. Okay, well, we're not quite there yet. So may God be with you and also with you. We're going to combine our territorial acknowledgement, opening prayer, and first reading this morning. I grew up influenced by US-based myths about Thanksgiving. I learned that Thanksgiving was about the Pilgrims who arrived in North America on the Mayflower at Plymouth Rock and enjoyed the hospitality of Indigenous people, survived because of that. Of course, harvest festivals of thanks have always happened everywhere, and any time can be a good time to express thanks. Today we will read the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address, also known as the words that come before all else. It's not just for this harvest holiday, but traditionally spoken to greet the day, to start a meeting, or before starting negotiations with other nations. Robin Wall Kimmerer asked whether she could share it in her book, Braiding Sweetgrass. A Haudenosaunee faithkeeper answered her, "Of course you should write about it. It's supposed to be shared. Otherwise, how can it work? We've been waiting 500 years for people to listen." There are many parts to the address. Paulina and I will take turns reading sections in Spanish or English. It's not in your bulletin, but both languages will appear on the screen and will read aloud those on the left-hand side. Everyone joins in the refrain in bold type. And Paulina, could you please read the refrain in Spanish? After Paulina reads a section, everyone will say the refrain in Spanish. Could you read that for us so we get the pronunciation, please?
Oh, ahora nuestras mentes son una.
Okay. And after I read a section, everyone says in English, now our minds are one. Haudenosaunee tradition teaches us that peace requires gratitude. Through these words, our minds are gathered together to share our thankfulness about what nature provides and acknowledge the ongoing impact of these forces on human lives. So those on the screen might like to go to their speaker view because there's quite a lot of words on the screen. So I'll begin in English. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Together, now our minds are one.
La Madre Tierra. Estamos agradecidos con nuestra Madre Tierra porque ella nos da todo lo que necesitamos para la vida. Sostiene nuestros pies mientras caminamos sobre ella, nos da alegría que todavía siga cuidándonos, tal como lo ha hecho desde el principio de los tiempos. A nuestra Madre le enviamos nuestra acción de gracias, amor y respeto. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. Now our minds are one.
Los peces. Dirigimos nuestros pensamientos a toda la vida de los peces en el agua. Se les ordenó limpiar y purificar el agua. También se nos dan como alimento. Agradecemos que sigan cumpliendo con sus deberes y enviamos a los peces nuestros saludos y nuestro agradecimiento. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one.
Las plantas alimenticias. Con un mismo espíritu, honramos y agradecemos a todas las plantas alimenticias que cosechamos del jardín, especialmente a las 3 hermanas que alimentan a la gente con tanta abundancia desde el principio de los tiempos: los cereales, las verduras, los frijoles y las frutas han ayudado a la gente a sobrevivir. Muchos otros seres vivos también obtienen fuerza de ellos. Reunimos en nuestra mente todos los alimentos vegetales y les enviamos un saludo y agradecimiento. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
Now we turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one.
Reunimos nuestras mentes para enviar nuestros saludos y agradecimientos a toda la hermosa vida animal del mundo que camina con nosotros. Tienen muchas cosas que enseñar a la humanidad. Agradecemos que sigan compartiendo su vida con nosotros y esperamos que así sea siempre. Unamos nuestras mentes como una sola y enviemos nuestro agradecimiento a los animales. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one.
Juan. Unimos nuestras mentes como una sola y agradecemos a todos los pájaros que se mueven y vuelan sobre nuestras cabezas. El Creador les dio el regalo de hermosas canciones. Cada mañana saludan el día y con sus canciones nos recuerdan disfrutar y apreciar la vida. El águila fue elegida para ser su líder y velar por el mundo. A todas las aves, desde las más pequeñas hasta las más grandes, les enviamos nuestros alegres saludos y agradecimientos. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
We are thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one.
Ahora nos dirigimos hacia el oeste, donde viven nuestros abuelos, los seres del trueno. Con relámpagos y voces atronadoras, traen consigo el agua que renueva la vida. Unimos nuestras mentes como una sola para enviar saludos y agradecimientos a nuestros abuelos los truenos. Nuestra mente son una.
We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one.
Unimos nuestras mentes y damos gracias a nuestra abuela mayor, la luna, que ilumina el cielo nocturno. Es la líder de las mujeres de todo el mundo y gobierna el movimiento de las mareas del océano. Por su rostro cambiante medimos el tiempo y es la luna quien vela por la llegada de los niños aquí en la tierra. Juntemos nuestro agradecimiento por la abuela luna, capa tras capa de gratitud, y luego arrojemos con alegría ese montón de agradecimiento hacia el cielo nocturno para que ella lo reconozca. Unámonos enviando saludos y agradecimientos a nuestra abuela la luna. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
We give thanks to the stars, who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. Now our minds are one.
Reunimos nuestras mentes para saludar y agradecer a todos los maestros iluminados que han venido a ayudar a lo largo de los siglos. Cuando olvidamos cómo vivir en armonía, nos recuerdan la forma en que nos enseñaron a vivir como personas. Con una sola mente enviamos saludos y agradecimientos a estos bondadosos maestros. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, our Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one.
Hemos llegado ahora al lugar donde terminamos nuestras palabras. De todas las cosas que hemos nombrado, no es nuestra intención omitir nada. Si se olvidó algo, dejamos que cada individuo envíe dichos saludos y agradecimientos a su manera. Ahora nuestras mentes son una.
We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one.
Come, you thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. All is safely gathered in, safe before the storms begin. God, a maker, does provide for our needs to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. All the world is God's own field, harvest for God's praise to yield. Weeds and weeds together sown, if under your sorrow grown. First the blade and then the ear, then the full corn shall appear. Harvest giver, grant that we all soft grain and pure may be. For our God one day shall come, and shall take this harvest home. From the fields shall in that day all offenses purge away, giving angels charge and rest in the farther weeds to cast, but the fruitful years to store in the garden evermore. Even so, God, quickly come to your final harvest home. Gather all your people in, free from sorrow, free from sin. There
The Holy Gospel according to John, chapter 6, verses 25 to 35. When they found Jesus on the other side of the sea, they said to him, "Teacher, when did you come here?" Jesus answered them, "Very truly, I tell you, you are looking for me, not because you saw signs, but because you ate your fill of the loaves. Do not work for the food that perishes, but for the food that endures for eternal life, which the human one will give you. For it is on that one that God has set a seal." Then they asked, "What must we do to perform the works of God?" Jesus answered them, "This is the work of God, that you believe in the one whom God has sent." So they said to Jesus, "What sign are you going to give us then, so that we may see it and believe you? What work are you performing?" "Our ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, as it is written, God gave them bread from heaven to eat." Then Jesus said to them, "Very truly, I tell you, it was not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven, but it is my Abba who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is that which comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." They said to him, "Give us this bread always." Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Hear the words of an ancestor in the faith. Thanks be to God.
From Cuba and is visiting with us, has been here for a few weeks and has certainly been joining San Esteban. And I've been told that he's musical and was willing to help lead these hymns. So very good to have you here. And let's join in as we can with the Spanish. Thank you. I think we're going to need to stand. I have a feeling it might be a little bit.
Porque en ti nazo y
tristeza y en angustia. Invoqué el nombre del Señor. Señor, salva mi vida.
El Señor es benigno y justo, nuestro Dios es compasivo. El Señor guarda a los sencillos, estando yo sin fuerzas me salvó.
Alma mía, recobra tu calma. El Señor fue bueno contigo. Arrancó mi alma de la muerte, mis ojos de las lágrimas, mi pies de la caída.
Caminaré en presencia del Señor means we walk in the presence of God.
Thank you, thank you. We're at the time in our service that we're going to actually have a bit of a discussion. And I wonder if you could put the second page of the gospel up for us. I'm going to have us break into, if you could join in with a couple people around you, maybe groups of 3 or 4. And then online, you can, actually the next page. Yes. So there's some themes here in the gospel that we can take a look at. Some of the questions that are asked here about bread. Give us this bread always. Question about us here at Holy Trinity. What bread do we need? What bread do we need? And then if you have time, you can take a look at the next sentence at the bottom where Jesus says, I am the bread of life. If you want to explore, what does that mean? And what would that mean to us? So 2 questions. If you can just grab a couple people around you, maybe you might want to turn yourselves a little bit in your chairs, and you're going to think about and talk about the idea of bread. What is the bread we need here? And then what does it mean when Jesus says, I am the bread of life?
Pam, can you hear me? Are we working as a group online without you hearing us in the church?
I think it would be best if we don't hear you because, but what can happen is whatever comes out of your group, if you want to share, somebody can report back after if there's any kind of gems that need to be shared. So if somebody online could facilitate, and Marilyn, maybe you could be that person. And then if there are things that are said that you want to bring back to the group after, we'll have a kind of a reconvening in, you have 5 minutes for the 2 questions.
Okay.
Way to go, Vivian. Okay, move back into your spaces. I'm going to come around. Actually, maybe we'll start online. So Dave, if you want to unmute, and Marilyn, I did kind of point you out, but perhaps you have gotten a different speaker. Oh, she even took notes. Bravo.
Okay, we had lots of discussion, and it's going to be a challenge to summarize it.
Could you go a little closer to your microphone and talk a little bit more clearly, like enunciate a bit more?
Okay, can you hear me now?
That's better. Thank you.
Okay. It was a bit of a rhetorical question because we think the bread of life the answer was meant to be Jesus. But it's how the natural world shows us where life comes from, that the sun governs all life. It's about feeding people, not asking them to pray, to find sort of spiritual nourishment, because basic needs come first. Bread is a common food sustenance and gives sustenance around the world, also nourishment of souls. Bread is part of a meal about eating together and sharing life. Bread is the staff of life. You can lean on it. It's ultimate. It's about hunger for meaning. We have to create bread. We have to participate. It takes time for bread. Yeast is the encouragement in life. Bread involves breath. Bread and breath relate. The essence of life is breathing, but the yeast creates breath, creates air to carry on. Bread needs human involvement. We need to keep coming back to bread, keep making bread. And Bill told us about children who said what they were thankful for was toast, and other things.
Thank you. That's a lot. Thank you. Thank you. How about this group here? And I don't know if you want to come up to the mic. Is there somebody who would like to say something? And best to come up to the mic because then people online can both see you and hear you.
Very briefly, we got to introduce ourselves and get to know ourselves a little better. Some North Americans and some formerly South Americans. And so we talked about how beautiful it is, the nourishment that comes from, sometimes you come from a background where you're not a spiritual, a religious background, where you don't interact. And to come to a situation like this where you can hear each other and share with each other is quite a nourishing thing. The other thing I want to say is that there's something for me really beautiful about the analogy of bread and physical bread and water. If you think about it, it's something we have to do regularly, isn't it? You have to do it regularly. And I think the spiritual nourishment of a parish is something that's part of a regular, getting up in the morning on Sunday and coming to the parish. I think parishes are an extremely important part. And for me personally, I'm sad sometimes the younger generation doesn't a lot of times have that. And I think a regular nourishment of spiritual bread and water is really important.
Thanks, Len. How about the group just behind? Anyone in that group that wants to share anything? I can bring the microphone to you if you want, Hilda. Should I go to the next group? Okay, the group behind here. Does somebody want to share some? There were some great nuggets, but okay. Do you want to come to the microphone? Okay.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Naya, and we had a very wonderful conversation with these lovely ladies. Oh, I had a wonderful conversation with all the ladies within our group. And so we touched based upon something that was mentioned earlier by you, which was there's nourishment that you receive as a part of bread. Also, too, there is a sense of community and belonging and showing up for one another, as well as having hope. And so we kind of tied all those things together within our conversation. And that's how we felt fed within our nourishment with the bread. You're welcome.
I think there's only one group left, the big group over here. Is there a spokesperson?
Yes, we had rather a large group and it was hard to hear each other at times, but hopefully this will not just be my thoughts, but gathering up some of them. Bill pointed out to us the meaning of the word liturgy in Greek is work, and whether it's sacred work of praying and praising, or laborers, on a high rise or building new homes. It's the same word in Greek used for all kinds of work. And so we are called as a community into work. So we didn't get into all the kinds of work, but we did talk a bit about belief. Some of us, including myself, have trouble focusing on belief as the basis of faith. I think those are different things. Belief to me is an intellectual kind of exercise. And but the heart of what we do here as work is build community. And I think we all resonated with that. But the question came up about what about, because we talked about the metaphor of a journey, being on a journey all together. But what about those Christians who we feel here, some have some beliefs or a way of expressing their faith that really feels inappropriate or false to us, but we must, in this time of polarization, be able to listen to other positions and to, decrease the amount of hatred in the world. I think that's, if anybody wants to.
Well, that's wonderful. One other thing that was talked about in our group is the whole idea of presence, like that song that was saying, the words that Rodine talked about, the presence of God in community. Well, thank you very much for a rich discussion. We try to have discussions once a month as a community, and really appreciate you contributing to this discussion. We're going to move to our hymn, and the hymn is found both in your bulletin and on the screen. And there's some wonderful themes in this hymn as well that talk about work and seeds and harvest. So let's sow together and let's enjoy singing this song.